What's going on, guys? Seth and Chevy here. We just watched episode 8 of season 1 of DanDaDan. We're going to be going full spoilers ahead, so hopefully you've watched this episode. And if you haven't, somehow you're watching this, I would tell you, watch the episode. Watch the show so far. It's been a lot of fun. So we're going to go into a real quick recap. Chevy, what happened in this episode?
All right. So post the, can't remember her name, but the ballerina spirit.
Silky.
Silky. Post Silky episode. We're now all enjoying some noodles, and Aira is joining them for this meal before school, I believe. And her and Momo still kind of butting heads mostly because Aira still thinks Momo is a devil. And she is cute, so that makes her need to purge evil. Right, that's pretty much their meal before heading to school. Turbo Granny and Real Granny play a little baseball with Okarun's one saved testicle and
Ball.
Yeah, ball. And Real Granny swing and misses, and Okarun receives one ball. So halfway there. We go to school, and Momo starts asking Okarun, or not asking, but say, "Hey, I'll see you at lunch." You have a routine at this point. And he decides, or he tells her that he wants to study, so he's probably not going to join her, and he's got plans after school. So she's a little weirded out by this, but she, is trying to take him for his word. She goes to get juice for her friends, and Pompey Orange, Pompey Orangey. She's walking around school. She's can't really shake that. She feels weird about this whole situation. She comes around a corner, and Okarun is on top of Aira in a very classic anime situation that isn't what it seems, because we get a small flashback of him not studying, but instead working out. He's worried about whenever they get into another fight, he needs to be stronger, have more endurance, etc. So he's working out, and Aira has decided that she's going to live the ultimate drama, and the human is going to fall in love with the devil, and confession involves kissing, which she found out from her dad's study. So her learning material was probably a little inaccurate. They tussle around a little bit as he's kind of aggressively defending himself in a very hilarious manner, and then it leads up to the scene in which Momo comes around the corner. They return to school after a little bit of arguing, and then we are given a similar situation to the episode where they return to her house the first time, and a wall comes around the property. The school is now enshrouded in darkness, and the only three people that seem to be there are Momo, Aira, and Okarun. We are introduced to what looks like a small version of the Loch Ness Monster with Godzilla powers.
True.
That Momo barely doesn't encounter and almost gets her head zapped off.
Also seems like it's using what reminds me of like echolocation with waves.
Yeah. Or frequency or whatever, yeah. And then we have Okarun and Aira discussing things, and all of a sudden a crab shrimp thing shows up with boxing gloves and attacks them. Okarun transforms real quick to dodge, and then all of a sudden he's pushed to the ground, and we have multiple aliens now who are still after his banana. Especially now because they know he has this ability, and that's where it obviously has to be stored. So
transcends their technology.
Yeah. The struggle happens, and Aira tries to use her cross again just to get pushed away, and then as they're getting ready to use their very inappropriate tools to remove the banana, all of a sudden we're introduced to the ballerina version of Aira at this point, and that's where the episode ends. So, thoughts?
This was a fun episode, especially after the last one that was really intense, really sad. it was interesting the way it left off, because in the last episode when they swapped souls or whatever, I was like, oh, she's gonna have powers now. Like, but what will those be? And we don't fully know yet. We got a quick scene of her like wrapping stuff around their heads and
Her hair,
it was her hair, yeah. And yeah, so we have a little taste of what's gonna happen next episode, but I'm definitely curious to see what she can do. But kind of good to get that question answered a bit. But the episode was fun. I liked the beginning part of the episode where Momo and Aira were fighting around the table. It was a lot of fun while they're still eating their noodles and having like the subtitles even in Japanese around the side of the screen, and then also, you know, for us arguing over really stupid stuff, also making Aira much more interesting and likable as a character almost instantly, because even though I do still think she's a complete psychopath, I thought she was just a really mean, shitty psychopath 2 episodes ago, and now I'm like, oh, she's just like really confused. She's like, she wants to be a paladin. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But she also has a really high view of herself that comes into play. So she's kind of just mentally fucked up, but in a funny way now, that she's, you know, involved with Momo and Okarun, especially with the dynamic of her wanting to free Okarun from Momo's control.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny too that she said like one positive thing about Granny, and she was just instantly on Aira's side, because everybody's just confused on why she looks so young but is a grandma. So yeah, the beginning of the episode was a lot of fun. I also think it's funny that Okarun is like acting weird, very typical and everything of, you know, somebody just not being honest with what the fuck they're doing. And so he wants to go work out. He's like multitasking at his desk, like with a hand strengthener, and he's also like lifting little weights while he's like reading, which is ridiculous. But yeah, of course, that leads to a situation. I thought that scene was also a lot of fun with Aira. It was ridiculous because she's being so aggressive with Okarun, that he's like grabbing her face and shoving her away. At one point, very similar to the noodle part with the table, where Momo and her were like walking around the table, just like staring at each other while eating and stuff. In this back alley, Okarun and Aira are just like standing there, like walking back and forth, their hands out. It's ridiculous. What else am I missing? Oh, the ball scene was funny. I like how non-serious that is for everybody except for Okarun. They're like playing baseball with it.
Yeah.
And Turbo Granny's like fucking throwing as hard as she can, and then she just strikes that pose, which is ridiculous. But yeah, we're halfway there with that objective. So that's side quest or main objective. Curious about where the other one's at. And then yeah, they fell into the other world in Silent Hill, and now they're just in a school that they can't get out of. It's pitch black outside, and there's, like you said, Godzilla, Loch Ness Monster, which I'm confused about.
The boxing crustacean.
There's a lot of build up to it just blasting through some walls. So hopefully next episode we get some context on that. It was interesting, but without any information at all. I'm like, okay, well, at least she didn't get her head blown off. And then the aliens, who I fucking hate. I hate the way they look, which obviously they're not supposed to be likable, but I'm just like, every time I see them, I'm like, god damn it, these guys. I'm trying to get the banana. I don't even understand the boxing guy. He's like showed up, was saying some random shit randomly, and then
I think it's supposed to be
gets pinned.
the punching mantis shrimp or whatever, but it doesn't look like a shrimp to me.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I don't know. And if you know, no spoilers unless it's from this episode. You can clarify some shit. But if you know stuff in the future, don't say anything. And then yeah, Aira trying the cross didn't work, and then she had to resort to powers that I'm sure are brand new to her, to try and help. So that's interesting. And also, we already were kind of speculating on her becoming like a main character anyway. She's in the intro and stuff, but
she's also just drawn too unique.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, now that she's like, you know, has full on powers and stuff, obviously she's going to be around. So that'll be interesting. I think she's a fun addition to the cast. And just a reminder, the first like 3 or 4 episodes of the show, I was pretty like not super into it. Now I'm like pretty into it. I actually like the show quite a bit so far. Now that we've gotten more like human dynamics between the characters, and I like the fun of the high school experience of just like, you know, miscommunication. I'm thinking about this person, but I can't express myself. Are they thinking about me? Like, what are they doing? Why are they acting weird? Those are fun comedic dynamics that also feel human, which I really like, mixed with the really, really bizarre supernatural and I can't even think of the word I would use for alien stuff. Well, paranormal, supernatural stuff. It's, I guess aliens, that would be supernatural technically because it's not natural. But yeah, just the dynamic of where all the weird shit makes it interesting. And also, I feel like it's a lot more digestible now because like the first like 2 episodes are so like hyper and not explaining anything, but just like the animation, everything's going crazy and stuff. And like now it just feels like, and maybe I'm just used to it now, but
I feel pacing's way better now.
Yeah, I feel like pacing's like so much better now. So I'm just like overall really enjoying the show, which is just funny because I'm thinking back and I kind of felt the same. I brought this up in other reviews without talking about that anime in case you haven't seen it. But like the first season of JJK, I watched it. I was like, yeah, I get it, stylistic, it's cool, but like it didn't really click for me until I watched the movie in the second season. So at least this show within its first season, after like 4 episodes, clicked. Yeah. Pretty quick. So I was kind of worried about that. So anyway, I really liked the episode. I'm looking forward to the next one for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It was a fun episode. It obviously, serves as an introduction episode to Aira's powers. There was a very long build-up for it.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I like the slice of life stuff that they have definitely spent the extra time to make very goofy, to make it, because like every anime, at some point has some slice of life, kind of stuff to it, and they're using a lot of tropes here, but they're intentionally making it like weird so that it can be, a goofy experience for the show, which is on brand, which is great. So
one thing I like about it a lot is like all the side characters, like Momo's friends and stuff, are like so normal.
Yeah.
They're not like over exaggerated, and I like the cliche anime type characters in most animes. But somebody's got glasses, they're always fixing, they're gonna be the smart one, all that kind of shit. But everyone's just kind of like normal. They're like talking like, well, like something blah blah blah. I don't like they don't talk like in very sophisticated ways, and even like the main characters are all like fairly normal.
Yeah.
So it's having these.
Minus Aira, she's not very normal, but
sure, but she's just kind of like brutish, I guess, in the way that she acts. But she's not like super like hyper cliche and like a character heavy anime that has like 12 different characters that all have their shticks and color patterns and everything. But I like that we have these down tempo moments in the show because and we don't have like a huge roster of characters either. We just get to know these characters, and so they're already like charming, likable characters that you're going to care about when the story does anything, if it does. And so I'm enjoying that because I feel like we watched Kaiju number 8, right? No spoilers, I won't talk about it. But that show had a bunch of characters that are likable, but they show up and you know exactly who they are as soon as they talk. Yeah. And you don't really get like super deep dives unless it's like a brief moment where like, yeah, when I was a kid, this thing happened to me and that's why I'm this way. And they're like, oh, okay. And then you just move on. This show, it's like they're sitting around in class just talking.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like it.
It feels more natural.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But yeah, outside of that part, and then just like being able to go through that, it was also kind of interesting to see that he is thinking about the fact that they are going to get attacked again, and I don't know why he felt like the need to lie. Obviously, it's part of his social awkwardness.
Might be embarrassed.
He can't just talk to people very easily, which he even like says at one point. He's like, yeah, I lied. I don't know why I did that, type of thing. So yeah, but it good on him for being preemptive on that, because obviously in this one episode even it immediately back into the frying pan. So the transition was pretty cool too, where it was just fine and all of a sudden it was just instantly dark, and they were in a a new an isolated space is the word I wanted. Sorry. And and then we just got introduced to a ton of different entities in a building, and they all seem to be not against each other, so I'm a little confused. I don't know if we just have 2 pets and 3 aliens running around, like what's happening here. So hopefully we get a little clarity on that next episode.
I'm sure we will. Yeah. It's like so vague, it has to have some information.
Yeah, because I mean, like typically we see them separate, though they did hint at in the house episode that the 2 things that they independently believe in share a lot of similarities and probably are the same thing, actually, just under different names. But that hasn't been confirmed, obviously. That was just
also the aliens said that they made that area only so people with high spirit levels or whatever can be there or interact with it. So maybe with that, spirits have access to that realm as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because they haven't like clarified like if there is differences and like what they are between the 2, or if it's just like people ran into them and gave them different names type of thing. So so that'll be fun to learn as well. And then obviously the reveal part was fun because it very much felt like Silky, just in a different body at this point. It'll be interesting to see that mixed with Aira's personality, though, because that is probably going to get a little crazy if I had to guess. And then I'm trying to think. There was one other thing I wanted to. The animations on the awkward behind the school scene were unnecessarily good for what it was, and her getting all kissy facey. They really put some effort into her puckering her leg.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was very funny. So it was a fun episode. Though the lead up kind of sucks because now I want the next episode and I got to wait a week. So
yep, that's how it is sometimes.
Yeah, some shows worse than others. So.
Yeah. At least it wasn't like a boring episode with like a big cliffhanger ending though. Like it was a fun episode. But it's like right when things are happening. So of course, I want to see what happens. So anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, we liked it. Let us know in the comments what you think of this episode. What do you think about what happened in it? How do you feel about Momo and Aira's dynamic? What do you think about Okarun and Aira's dynamic? And what do you think about Aira's big reveal? Unless you know where it goes, please don't spoil anything. We have not read the manga, and we want to watch this as blind as possible. So thank you for understanding. Stay tuned. We have... we'll probably do a review for Ron Mahaf soon. We've been watching those episodes. We just haven't been doing episodic ones. We still need to figure out if that's like a 12 episode or a 24 one or whatever the hell. But we'll figure it out. And we're going to watch Dragon Ball Daima at some point. Hopefully soon. And if you have any recommendations, let us know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I'm Seth. This has been Chevy. And stay tuned. We will talk to you guys in the next episode.